Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Yes, this is the same outfit as the last video, the Nervous Guide, because I'm filming these back to back because it's a quiet house. Doesn't happen often. So if you watched my last video, then you will know that we are going to talk all things Much Ado About Nothing, currently playing in Stratford at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre as part of the RSC. So if you want to know all about the show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So another Shakespeare review, another piece of Shakespeare seen by myself. It's becoming a thing. I'm quite excited. I do kind of have plans to try and catch one more piece of Shakespeare in this year. If that plan comes to fruition, hopefully we'll talk about it then. This time I kind of knew the plot and the show. I had previously seen a slime tutorial of the stream that they did at the, I want to say Wyndham's, when David Tennant and Catherine Tate took on the roles of Benedict and Beatrice respectively. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself in for. If I didn't, gratefully the darling people at the RSC have a little, she says, synopsis in the programme, which is always helpful, especially with Shakespeare where they're not speaking English as we know it, and sometimes things can be lost in translation. This comedy is one of love and not love, and a little bit of scheming, and it centres around 2 separate couples, the love-hate relationship between Benedict and Beatrice, who start by not liking each other and loving the two, battle with each other, and then are kind of schemed amongst family members to fall in love. And then you have the second couple of Hero and Claudio, who meet each other at the start of the play and fall in love instantly, because that happens in real life. And there is also a scheme afoot between those 2 characters by other people. That scheme is a little bit darker than the falling in love scheme, but there is 2 schemes happening simultaneously, and there's 2 love stories happening simultaneously. It's not the best description, but it's not too bad. And at the end of the day, it is Shakespeare. It's quite dramatic. I kind of think this one is a good one to be one of your first. Ironically, it wasn't my first live theatre experience of Shakespeare, because to me this is as close to a romantic comedy film or book that Shakespeare wrote. Obviously rom-coms weren't a thing in his time, but it has that kind of rom-commy vibe, which is and has always been my vibe. I love to read that kind of story, I love to watch that kind of story, so it was my vibe from the beginning, and that definitely helped. This production has been directed by Michael Longhurst. It is set in a footballing world where there's the manager, the owner, the lead men are footballers, the lead females are part of the owner's family, but also have jobs to do with sport. We all know the footballing world is a dramatic world, both on and off the pitch. The use of football kind of ebbed and flowed. It wasn't like the centre best moments of the entire show. It kind of got forgotten at points and you were just like, oh yeah, I'm watching Shakespeare, this is quite fun. And then other times it's like, oh yeah, there's a bit of a footballing element. It wasn't like a massive thing, but it was part of their elements. Whether it was needed, I don't know, but it was a good place to set the show. In regards to the creative side, a few people I wanted to mention. Firstly, the set and costume design, which has been done by John Bowser, and hopefully I pronounced that correctly. The set was clever and kind of aesthetically pleasing. Because it is set in a footballing world, the moment you stepped into the auditorium space, the first scenes were set in a, as I said, cloakroom, and that's not the word, dressing room. Yeah, dressing room. So there was hooks, there was a walkway that everyone came down, which was like coming down the tunnel of the football stadium into the dressing space, and there was also throughout the show a very well used jacuzzi. I put it in inverted commas because it was bubbling to begin with, then it became kind of a swimming pool-esque thing. Something happens in regards to a pair of shorts, which I'm still not over, and I watched this 4-ish days ago. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go and see the show, because I'm not spoiling that for nobody. But it's the thing I've talked to people that I know have seen the show a lot about, because I don't know how it worked. The little space was pretty much a secondary character. It was used so much. And there was definitely like a splash zone, I'd say. If you're going to see the show and you sit front stalls, you might get slightly damp. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this set was that at one portion where a bedroom space was needed, it appeared from pretty much nowhere. I didn't see it come in. I don't know how I missed it because it's a big piece of set. But I believe it came from above and lowered down. Could be wrong because I wasn't really watching when it ascended, but the bedroom space was immaculate and it was slightly higher up than the rest of the stage, so it was like front and center in your face, and then it just disappeared once it was not needed anymore. Creatively, I really enjoyed how it was portrayed and the thought that had been put into it, and yeah, I just enjoyed pretty much everything about it, so yay. Moving on to the cast, let's first talk about the couple of the show, which is Beatrice and Benedict. Beatrice is being played by Freema Agyeman and Benedict is being played by Nick Blood, neither of which I'd ever seen perform before. My understanding is this for them is both of their first experiences playing at the RSC in Stratford, because it basically puts up that their debut season is this season, which is exciting. Oh no, I am wrong, because Freema has done 12th Night. My apologies. This is why I buy the programmes. I absolutely loved their chemistry. Their relationship is obviously one of love and hate, and they did both really well. I really like the pairing and the coupling of Beatrice and Benedict, and the two did it absolutely brilliantly. I really also enjoyed the like girl bossness of Freema, but also the fact that once the scheme to get her and Benedict together gets going and she becomes more of a softer character, the slight giddiness of her character is also absolutely excellent, and the same with Nick Blood as Benedict. He had very good comedic timing. There is a few moments where I was giggling my head off at him, especially in the portion or the scene in which he is kind of listening in on 3 other characters who are trying to stir the pot, and yeah, absolutely hilarious. Also the shorts in the water, the end. The other couple, as previously mentioned, are Hero and Claudio. Hero in our performance was an understudy, should I say, by the name of Megan Keaveney. I really enjoyed her, and I also enjoyed her chemistry and her work alongside Claudio, who was Daniel Adioson. Hopefully I pronounced that surname correctly. I also enjoyed Daniel's work alongside Don Pedro, who in this production is essentially the manager of the football club. It makes sense. I just make it not sound like it's sense. Don Pedro was played by Olivier Hubbard. Hopefully that's pronounced correctly. I do have to say Don Pedro in this production is one of my favourite characters, apart from one portion where he sides with Claudio upon experiencing something which wasn't actually what happened, but the way it was portrayed was that it actually had happened. I found Don Pedro slightly lovable and slightly bumbling, and like I said, I really enjoyed his work alongside Daniel as Claudio. One final shout out, because I could go on and say each member of the cast and how excellent they were, but this video is going to be ridiculously long if I do that. One other mention I wanted to make, which was for our performance, was for Arthur Wilson, who in Act 2, because of things he was covering, because there was 2 understudies on, or 2 covers on for different roles, so that took ensemble members down a little bit. Arthur in Act 2, who started Act 2 as Verger, then had to turn into Friar, and then back into Verger, and then back into Friar, I believe, and each change was pretty damn quick because of the way Act 2 runs, and I just thought he was absolutely amazing, and I couldn't stop watching him in Act 2, so I just wanted to mention him in this video. So let's round this up, because like I said, I could talk about the show for ages and we don't have the time because my food is currently on and it's kind of burning a little bit, so I need to stop. This production of Much Ado About Nothing was absolutely brilliant. I laughed, I felt everything. It was fun, it was funny, it had moments that you were like, ooh. Like I said, I'm a massive fan of a rom-com, and this had that rom-com-y energy. Yeah. I even at one point was encouraged, not just me, everyone in the audience was encouraged to sing Enrique Iglesias' Hero. And if you are encouraged to sing that song, you shall sing it. Which, for some of the older members of our audience were kind of just like, why are they singing that? But if you're of a certain age, you know all the words, you're going to sing along. And I did. It was very fun. And yeah, I just really enjoyed watching another piece of Shakespeare. I'm very excited to see what else Shakespeare has in the world. I mean, it shouldn't be a shock that I'm enjoying all this Shakespeare, because how long has it been around and it's still selling really well. There is something there, and this is another great one. This show is being played in the Royal Shakespeare Theatre at the RSC in Stratford-upon-Avon until the 24th of May, so not long left. But I would 100% recommend buying a ticket. I would love to return, but I just don't think I'm going to have the time. Gutted. But hopefully at some point they will stream or record this production for future people, because it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, go and check it out and tell your friends, why not? But there we go, I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. I love you all lots. Did you see this production? Have you seen a production of Much Ado prior? What did you think? Other than that, I'm going to leave this video here and say thank you very much for watching, and all that's left to say is usual, which is so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye.